Todd, are you ready for night 7?
Fancy seeing you here, Chad. Great to see you. Everyone, welcome to Hoppy Hanukkah, the craft beer experience presented by Brewvana.com. My name is Todd Summers.
And I am Chad Brodsky, and we will be your Jewish drinking buddies this evening.
And one more night. Being that it is night 7
more.
of Hanukkah, let's open our night 7 beers.
I'm very excited. Look at my Brewvana koozie that I got.
I got one too. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use part of the bottle opener from last night to open the can.
I think you're meant for bottles, but let's see if that works. What?
This part's for cans. See?
You're blowing my mind, Todd. I actually had no idea that existed.
Oh, I got some like on my face. That's great. It's great. Lovely.
All right, I'm just gonna do it like a normal person.
All right, so housekeeping tonight. Again, we've got the illustrious Kate managing the Q&A and the chat. Kate, say a quick hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday and happy night 7.
Love to hear it, Kate. Just a quick reminder, Q&A. The Q&A is for questions for us to answer. The chat is for banter. If you're in the chat, remember to send your messages to everyone, not just the hosts and panelists. So, hey, chat, I'm very curious. We had a 10% double IPA last night. Very curious what happened to everyone after that beer. Chat, how do you do?
I ended up in a bag of Trader Joe's holiday cookies, and it was a mess.
Couch. I fell asleep on my couch feeding my dog treats like simultaneously. So, you know, it happens.
What about everyone else? Kit Kat had more beers.
So did Shy. Okay, great.
I appreciate that.
That's impressive.
Hey, Todd, you know, I've been wanting to up my glass game. I bought this after the holidays, but if you can see, it's all the chemical makeups. This is like me being very beer nerdy. All the different chemical makeups from beer. So you got maltose, like the sugar produced by the grain, being broken down.
We're still on for the L'chaim chat. Oh,
L'chaim, everyone.
That's cool.
That is delicious. So Todd, as every night, I want to know your notes from the previous night. What do we got?
These are some pretty impressive notes, actually. So here we go. Night 6, 9.8 out of 10. And my notes: 1, I got kind of drunk. That's a tasting note. And 2, I heart Jewish beer people.
Last night was a lot of fun with the beer Jewish legends.
Tremendous. All right, so Chad, what are we doing tonight?
So I'm not really sure what we're doing tonight. And we got this beer that we definitely need to appraise, right? So should we do that first?
Let's do it first. Let's talk about this. What is this? The Opacus Oatmeal Stout. It's a good place to start.
Stormbreaker.
Nope. Opacus. Nope. I don't know.
The Stormbreaker. That sounds familiar.
Stormbreaker. Oh, Dan? Do you know someone named Dan?
Dan the Man Malik? Yes, from last night. Yeah, I think that's his brewery.
Interesting. It's almost like there was a connection there.
Yeah.
So what do we have here? This is an oatmeal stout. We haven't had an oatmeal stout on.
This is definitely the darkest. This is definitely going to be their darkest, most mouth-feeling beer that we've had, especially knowing that it's going to be an oatmeal stout. It's going to have tons of body. So just start with that nose. The aromatics on there, just aromas of cocoa like hot chocolate
you're
is what I'm getting.
Chad, you're a coffee drinker, aren't you?
I am a coffee drinker, but I'm getting more chocolate than coffee in this right now. Like real, like dark chocolate. A little bit of toffee as well.
Coffee. I get coffee because I like find coffee anywhere I can. But on the nose, it's the coffee for me. Mhm.
So did you know that this beer has won a bunch of local awards? They won silver in the Oregon Beer Awards, all really in Oregon. So that's pretty big considering how much beer is in Portland alone. Do you know what the number is? It's like some absurd
in Portland,
some
like
absurd number,
30,
but
I think at this point.
more than 30. I think it's over 100.
No, 130.
Oh yeah, just in Portland. It's craziness.
I went to 30 in one day when I was there.
That is very impressive.
A good Portland story.
So
Stormbreaker. Go for it.
Go. No, you go. Please.
I was going to give some more Stormbreaker, known nickname for Mount Hood, which we should talk about a little bit, but it's an 11,000 foot volcano technically that casts a shadow on Portland every sunrise, and they brew their beer like the name comes from the way that Mount Hood breaks storms that come off the Pacific Ocean, which I love that.
Head on with intensity is how they refer to it.
Head on with intensity.
This is definitely, I would agree with that. Beer. What do you guys think? In the chat at home, what are you guys thinking about our first stout?
Shai said, I am getting a dark chocolate taste with a cigar aftertaste. Kit Kat, our old pal, said it's a little bit lighter on the mouthfeel than expected. Renan called it creamy. Alex Goldberg said nice and roasty. Alex Goldberg helped me out. It's Opacus. I just had a mild inability to speak there. Peter wants a little more body, but Brian also said that he's getting strong hints of chocolate toast and a hint of 10W-40, which I believe is the oil that I put in my car. So, everyone's a little different. So
very,
people might want
subjective.
more. Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
That's incredible. So, Chad, we're like,
we're in the seventh night in the home stretch.
It's sort of it's tough to like just kind of create content. And last night got a little out of hand, and so I know everyone we sort of reached out to just kind of was like, no chance of I going on this show of yours.
It was a mess.
I spent all day skiing. I know you were making raindrop cakes, and we just kind of like, our prep might have not been as great as it could have been. So I don't know. I feel like you can bail us out here.
Oh, I did I did have this amazing that gift that I got that had that awesome whatever that's called.
The flannel koozie.
The flannel koozie. So I get pretty good gifts, and I think I have the thing for us tonight. I think it's gonna work. I hope it works because we're pretty much SOL if it doesn't.
What do we got?
Dad beer jokes. I got this as a gift this year from my mother-in-law. I like beer. I'm a dad. I have a 2.5-year-old. So let's see. Kit Kat thinks this is gonna work. I'll read it. Let's see how we can do. I don't know if we got enough for 45 minutes, but we'll see. So I got, what do you call a bad beer? Unbearable. Good one. How do you know when someone can't handle their beer? When they bring a coaster. No, nothing, Todd. You're not thinking.
No.
Wait,
try again.
One more. This one's a good one. What kind of beer does a vampire drink? Bloodvisor. Nothing?
That's terrible. No, we can't do this. If I have to listen to you tell another one of those jokes.
Said Blood Light. That's a good answer.
But
so
that's all I can bear. If I have to listen to another one of these, I'm legitimately going to turn my computer off. But we're just goofing on you.
Okay.
We just needed an excuse to Chad to tell some of those tremendous jokes of his. Chad, what are we actually going to do tonight?
All right, so I didn't really eat dinner, and I thought that maybe we can bring my dinner of Jewish foods to you guys, and we do a big Jewish food beer pairing, talking about what foods you want to drink with what beers. What do you think of that, Todd? Do you think that would work? Is that I could go back to
Great
the
idea.
dad jokes if you want.
Nope.
These are available.
Nope. Put those away.
Should we ask the audience maybe? Dad jokes or food pairings?
Oh no, I can't believe people are asking for one more.
Food.
Oh,
All right.
I saw food from Shai.
Alex wants one more. Anything but more.
Franny,
Food pairing with a few jokes. I support
all right,
that
we can.
one.
Okay, Chad, you
allow
can
me to
sprinkle them in.
some
I will allow you to sprinkle.
Done.
So before we get into the specific foods and pairings, I think we should speak more broadly about how beer and food pairs. So Chad, what's our guiding principle here?
So there's 4 guiding principles when you're trying to pair food with beer. There's complementing flavors.
I like your outfit.
No, that is not what a complementing flavor is. I appreciate the compliment though. Complementing flavors would be having
that was a dad joke.
It's terrible. It was my jokes, the dad beer jokes are better. Complementing flavors would be like a roasted chicken with a roasted ale, similar flavors, a chocolate cake with a chocolate a porter or something of that nature. There's contrasting flavors, so something that might be spicy, you'd want something that's going to be sweet with it. There's intensity. Intensity is a big one. Intensity is you don't want a beer that's going to overpower your food. You don't want a food that's going to overpower your beer. What would be an example, Todd, do you think, of an intensity?
So, you know me, I love a good garden salad, just can't get enough of them. You wouldn't want to pair a 14% barrel aged barley wine with that, because what's the point of the salad at that point? It's completely, that's much better suited for something significantly richer, something way bigger in flavor.
Exactly. But what if you had a I don't know, piece of steak? What about that way? What would you? That's something that could handle that complex
absolutely.
barley wine. So that's going to be those that's going to be intensities. Elizabeth says it's called balance, guys.
And there's that that's putting a lot of pressure on the balance. That's really making the balance do a lot of work.
And then the last one is my favorite. Is called resonating flavor. It's like taking 2 completely different flavor profiles and putting them together to make something crazy. What a perfect example of this would be a camembert cheese with a brown ale. If I was to think with those pairings, that's going to be a liquid grilled cheese sandwich. So that would be an example of resonating flavors.
Love that.
So those are going to be your 4
awesome.
main ideas that when we're going to be talking about pairing beer and food tonight, we're going to be using those 4.
Okay. So Chad, should we start with some Jewish foods?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. I'm going to start. Do you have any of this? Anyone ever seen this before?
Is this Go Fish? Do you have this Jewish food?
Do you Go Fish? Get it?
Exactly.
This is Latkes.
I do.
Okay. So this is salty. I'm gonna eat some because
I don't have these are notoriously hard to open without a scissor.
Pull tab.
There is not a pull tab on Latkes. I don't know where you get your Latkes from.
Grocery store. Smoky.
Alex Goldberg just had lox and bagel this morning. Awesome.
So lox, smoky, very salty. So where are we going for lox?
Lox is interesting because lox is also like a fish. It's light. It's not a heavy food. Very. So I want something that has gonna have a
People
little
eat
bit
it
of
for
like
breakfast, you know.
exactly. So I would go with like a Hefeweizen or like a Belgian wit with this beer. That's going to be a more carbonated beer. It's going to have a little bit of the citrus notes. To be have a little bit of the creaminess from the wheat, and it's going to be just light and refreshing. And it's going to cut through some of the salinity, the salt in the lox. And I wish I had a Hefeweizen or a Belgian wit to have with this lox. It just sounds so good.
Mm-hmm. And chat for you. We want to hear what beers you would pair with these foods as well. Also, we want you to use the Q&A. So Rachel is starting to get it. She asked, what would you consider a dessert beer, for example, an after dinner beer? Last year we did this and it was super fun. What are your regional foods and what could we pair with that? And Kit Kat, that's a solid pairing. Rausch beer.
It depends on the Rausch beer.
Yeah.
You want something that's going to be a lighter Rausch beer that's not going to be overpowering of smoke. Rausch beers are intense beers. Kit Kat, like you have a Rausch beer, you're only tasting that smoke. And I love lox. It's probably one of my favorite foods, I would say. And I want to taste the lox. And so a Rausch beer could overpower the flavors of the lox, unfortunately.
Totally. All right. How about this? I think this is fairly traditional. And this is homemade. I'm pretty proud of this one, Chad.
What is that, Todd?
This is Todd's Sufganiyot made.
Did you just take a donut? Did you take a donut, like a plain donut, and pour jelly on it?
This is actually an apple cider donut, but yes, I did.
That's not how you make a Sufganiyot.
It's very difficult to find. Do you have one?
No, it's very hard to find. You have to go to a Jewish bakery. Unfortunately, my local Whole Foods did not have any Sufganiyot.
It's so sweet. This is so sweet.
With the jelly or the apple, or just the fact that it's a cider donut?
Both.
I mean, you are in Vermont, so I feel like that's the only type of donut you possibly could get in the state of Vermont.
As difficult it is to get an actual Sufganiyot, it is that easy to get an apple cider donut.
You just go out the door of your home, and there's just people selling them all over the streets.
No, but when I was driving home from skiing today, I saw 2 different vans selling maple syrup out of the back of it. So, but okay, so this is obviously like intensely sweet. I have a sweet tooth, a very noted sweet tooth. So fruited beers seem to be like sort of, if you're thinking, complementing, but I don't know if I can handle any more sweetness, Chad. So if we're thinking contrasting, where are we going?
If it's so incredibly sweet that you can't,
This might be the most sugar I've ever consumed per bite.
You're gonna want something that's gonna like cut through that, and that's gonna be where beer is actually more versatile. Ooh, a saison, it would work. It depends on what kind of saison you have, but like of a saison Dupont, like the original. Ooh, Alex's Flanders Brown, a Flemish brown ale, red ale would be incredible, but it might be add too much sweetness to it but it also has some of the tartness of like the acidity from it being a blended sour. So that could be actually a really cool pairing, is like a little bit of like either a lambic or a Flemish red. Otherwise, if you want to just kind of cut through, something that's really cool with beer that, unlike wine, we're not on a wine pairing. So beer has carbonation and actually that carbonation acts like little scrubbing bubbles on your palate to make it so it can cut through some of that real sweetness. It essentially just cleanses the palate. So that's why you like love a high carbonated beer with like wings, because it can cut through the spice of those wings. Framboise. Sarah from the chat, framboise would be awesome.
I think we have something with us. I think this oatmeal stout is actually super killer because it's got enough roastiness that like for it sort of makes me forget that like I might need to go to the doctor after eating this, you know, which is really nice. And so it like I kept eating it despite me saying it was the most sweetness per bite. And I think it was because the roastiness is cutting through some of the sweetness for me, because this is a little dry on the back end. You know, it's not super.
And it's medium body. It's like a medium bodied stout too. It's not like super filling, which is nice, especially if you have something that's very, very sweet.
Yep.
Hey, so speaking of sweet, Rachel
Kate,
would
you
like-
are very sweet. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That
stop
you
it,
were
guys.
requesting a compliment. You got it.
Very, very good, but thank you. So, okay. Rachel, though, wants to know what you would consider a dessert beer or like an after dinner beer.
We just mentioned a bunch of delicious, there's a goose there. We got a framboise in the chat.
Framboise would be great.
lambic. That would be awesome. A barley wine, something that's going to have some more complexity. If you think about like having some people drink port after dinner, port is like a fortified wine. Think about something that's going to have some more complexity. Randy in the chat says imperial stout, barley wine. Yeah, things that have complexity are going to be really good dessert beers.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think too, it sort of depends a little bit on the dinner. Like there's a lot of these questions can be answered with like, well, it sort of depends, which we've sort of heard so far. Like, you know, it depends on the goes. What is that?
There's arugula.
Is that
we're talking about sweets.
That's
got any
a lot of sugar.
arugula fans?
SPB sugar per bite.
And so, continue.
What I was saying is, depending on the dinner, the after dinner beer might change. If you have one of those massive winter dinners, you know, then yeah, I think like a little bit of something really complex and maybe higher in ABV is nice. If you have a light summer dinner and, you know, you're like, it's hard for me to drink 15% beers in the summer because it's so hot. Like, and if you're full in the summer, nothing wrong with a light lager. But I think to the essence of the question, I think where we're going is like higher ABV, more complexity, smaller quantities, since you're probably pretty full.
I would agree with that.
All right, bring the rule on.
All right, I got some Rugala chocolate. Do we have any Rugala fans in the audience right now? What's your go-to flavor of Rugala? Are you a cinnamon? Are you a chocolate? Are you a raspberry?
Raspberry all day, every day.
You got
Like,
some
it's by far
apricot.
my
Oh, I didn't mention apricot, raspberry, chocolate. Cinnamon's the best. Ooh, Ryan's Deli. They make amazing stuff.
Hey Chad, how do you make your bagels safe from burglars? Locks. That's a joke from Rick.
Awesome. That's a great one.
So chocolate. You have chocolate.
I've got Rugala. This is not just chocolate.
That's a treat.
This
That's
is a treat.
chocolate.
I already ate 2 or 3 so far. I'm probably gonna eat another one while I'm eating, you can talk to people because you have watched you eat these donuts, but I can't resist. But yeah, babka. Laura in the chat says chocolate babka. I tried to get chocolate babka tonight and I couldn't find any because I did this all last minute. So chocolate babka was our original plan, but Rugala is still pretty incredible.
If there are any bakers in the crowd, chocolate babka, sort of hard to make, but people love it when you show up with it because it looks so great. So I think
I go with this. This is my pairing.
I was gonna say the same thing.
We talked about how chocolatey this
Mhm.
this stout is. Not a more of a coffee focused stout. It's more of that chocolatiness. So this is complementing flavors right here in
Totally.
a nutshell.
I
So
want one.
cheers, Todd. Sorry.
No, yeah, go get in there. So what's interesting to think about is like there's no, we said something you can think about is like contrasting flavors, right? So if you're eating a chocolate dessert, chocolate rogalon, and you're probably ready for sweetness, right? Like you're having dessert. So it might be sort of an interesting thought to go the full other way, like a Vienna lager, like to cut the sweetness. No, like enjoy the sweetness, find something that's going to bring out the chocolate flavor and get into some of that coffee. You don't need to go the full other way, So this one might be something where you're really trying to enhance, right?
Yeah,
Instead of sort of
definitely.
eliminate, which the donut I couldn't handle any more enhancement.
Yeah. Also something that has like some chocolate components, like fruit is good. Anything like a fruited sour those always go, I think, of just like chocolate raspberry cake. Kind of, if you think of foods that have different flavor components of it, like a chocolate raspberry cake, if you had a raspberry framboise with a piece of chocolate, it's going to recreate, that's going to be those resonating flavors. They're not necessarily complementing, but when you combine them, that's when the magic happens, like the magic of Hanukkah.
Look at you, Chad. That's great.
Bring it all full circle.
Chad, I want to talk about Jewish penicillin. Do you have any?
I do indeed.
So what is Jewish penicillin? We also have to shout out Ernst Boris Chain, 1945, Hein, maybe 1945 Nobel Prize winning Jew for research on penicillin, actual penicillin. So we have chicken soup for Chad's soul. And I think, yeah,
that was a good one.
I think what's great about having chicken soup is that chicken soup is not the easiest food because there's a lot to it. It's salty. It's got some richness. There's chicken in it. There's plenty of vegetable. There's some, depending on the chicken noodle soup, there's a lot of celery character. So Chad, where are we going here?
Depends on if you dill. I think how much dill you put into your chicken soup. My wife doesn't like dill. I love dill. And so that's going to definitely change how I would pair chicken soup.
It's good that it wasn't a dill breaker in your relationship.
That was a good one, Todd. I like that. Josh wants tons of garlic in his Jewish penicillin. Yes, garlic definitely is good. So I would go with something that's kind of like a medium, just like a medium of the road beer, and like an amber lager, something that, or even an amber ale. If I wanted a little bit more body, but something's gonna have a light like toastedness to it. I love Vienna lagers. Boston lager is a Vienna lager. So from Sam Adams, that's gonna go really well.
Your favorite beer?
It is a go-to beer if I see it.
Love it.
And so Vienna lager, I would say, or a amber ale.
I'm into that.
You're in Vermont. You're in Vermont, so a long trail. Long trail.
Long trail ale.
Yep, that's an alt beer. So
double bag.
No. Just long trail ale.
Long trail ale. Okay, Chad. This is a harder one.
What do you have there? Where did you get
Everyone
mutts?
knows
Is that
what
from Passover?
It's probably from Passover? 2 Passovers ago. Maybe.
Did you have that, or did you buy it for tonight?
This is definitely new purchase.
Where was it located? Was it located in the Hanukkah section of the grocery store?
I live in Vermont. We definitely do not have a Hanukkah section of the grocery store. We have one aisle with like what they would deem like non-traditional American foods, and it was in that aisle next to like like anything flavor.
You're just eating plain matzah right now.
Oh, you don't
You
know this
can't-
about me. I love matzah. I would eat this. I love it. It's one of my favorite foods.
Just plain, nothing else.
Don't care. It's great.
I didn't know that, and I've known you for a
It
very
tastes a
long time.
little bit like cardboard though, so we eat this a lot. What do we do with this?
Plain matzah. Just
Can you hear me chomping?
jumping. What I'm curious to know who else likes plain matzah. Is there anyone in the chat? I would imagine that no one else eats matzah by itself. It's usually a conduit of something else. It's like my Catholic friend. Brendan says his Catholic friend.
I guarantee that box of matzah will be gone in less than.
Matzo brie is different. That is a mixture
My mom's
of
favorite food.
eggs and love, and it's matzo balls. Yes, matza's too hard. I think matzo is like, it doesn't have it. That's why you don't eat it by itself, because it's essentially nothing.
Yeah.
I want something that's just some liquid of something that's liquid to cut through this
To help you
dry
swallow it.
cracker. Yeah. Give me water, honestly. That's probably going to be the best. But if you can't have water, an American lager probably is going to be the best thing to. But if you add stuff to the matzah, like start adding things that you would put on
I saw
matzah.
chopped liver, and Chad, we are on very opposite sides of the chopped liver spectrum. You like it, you couldn't pay me to eat it. So I couldn't tell you.
You could put chopped liver on matzah.
Yeah, no, someone said that in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Who was it?
All right. People want to know who's team chopped liver. So I'm team chopped liver.
Shy's another Brodsky, Jared. That's home cooking, literally.
That doesn't count.
No, we don't count Jared's vote. I
Chopped
think
liver is a very complex food.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself to eat some more.
Chopped liver is a very complex food. I mean, like if you're thinking about depending on how you make chopped liver, there's eggs in there, there's liver, there's mayo, I think, in there. I've never actually made it. I've always just bought it, or one of my family members have made it. But there's just so many complex flavors in chopped liver. No mayo. All right. Well, clearly I don't know how to make chopped liver, but I know how to eat chopped liver, and I could tell you that it's a complex food. And so I think I would want to have a brown ale. I would like a nut brown ale with my chopped liver. I feel like the little bit of that nuttiness, the toffee flavors are going to enhance the liver component of it. Like that liver, I think it's like an umami flavor maybe. And the eggs are just kind of light. Like, yeah, I think I would go with the brown ale. That would go really well with chopped liver. I want chopped liver now with the brown ale.
You're currently chopped liver in my book. I cannot believe it. I can't. It doesn't work.
Ooh, Martin. A Martin would be
Martin,
really
that makes
good as well.
So back to the matzah pairing. It's crackery bready. So I think anything with that sort of upfront malt character would do well. That gives you the crackerness. If you're trying to get more, if you're a matzah lover like myself, maybe a Czech Pils. But I also think for those of you who aren't big matzah fans and say mean things like it tastes like nothing, or you need beer to help you swallow it, how about like a New England IPA? Something that's just like massively citrusy, tons of flavor, so then you got something going on.
I mean, you could literally put anything with matzah because it's just going to enhance. But I would say a New England IPA, the creaminess of a New England IPA would go nicely with that kind of crackery flavor. Definitely. I can do that. I can do a New England IPA. I honestly could do probably a New England IPA with the chicken soup. I think that could be an interesting, especially if there's the dill in the chicken soup. I think that could be a interesting component, adding a little bit of that citrus to the flavor of the chicken soup. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Fair. All right. I want to get into some regional foods. I want to hear some regional foods.
I got some. I have more food though.
What do you have?
Just making sure. No, wait. Let's get into a regional food first.
Let's get some regional foods, and you show us what you have while those come in.
Well, Jeff from in the chat wants to know about latkes.
Kit Kat.
A bang. Got some latkes. They look like kind of like burgers right now, but I promise you they are latkes and they were delicious. I already had one. Now, my question for the chat is, what are you putting on your latkes?
Ooh.
Sour cream or applesauce? Very important question. Which one? Neither.
Neither,
Josh,
both, all applesauce, sour cream, sugar, both. I'm a both guy.
I'm an applesauce guy. Cranberry sauce. That could be good.
Cranberry sauce is an interesting one. A lot of both.
Sugar. A lot sugar. That's like more for a dessert. I think maybe if you're having latkes as a dessert.
That's getting into the contrasting side of things, right?
Yeah.
So I think
a lot of both.
Latkes, I think if it's me, I'm probably going with a goza. I think I want some of like salt, like give it to me. Like you only live once. I want it all. And because like, how many days a year do you think you eat a latke, Jack?
I mean, 8 or 6. No, 4 days out of an entire year.
Not
That's
often
sad.
enough.
That is sad.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, not nearly often enough.
Be
Don't cut
more
it.
frequent food. There should be a latke day. We should start a latke day in the middle of like the summer or in springtime. I think we could. That could
International Latke Day.
Yeah, absolutely. That's ingenious.
What day?
I don't know. We'd have to figure that out. But
second Tuesday in May.
We'll come back here with all of our Jew
second
friends
Tuesday of May.
Second Tuesday of May, and we're gonna eat latkes together. And it'll be one where you can see everyone eating the latkes.
That's a beautiful thing. Okay. Let's see what we've got for some regional food. I see one of my favorite. This is a Todd favorite food, and I'd be curious where AK Howard is based, what geographic area of the country. Tamales. So I think it's traditionally cornmeal, correct? With either like a green chili veggie sauce in the middle or meat based, which is going to be like a red sauce and a little spicier. So San Antonio, Texas, I would guess that the tamales in San Antonio, Texas are to die for. And when I was living in Chicago, there was a guy, his name is Tamale Guy. That's what everyone calls him. And he would go to bars every night of the week and bring in a cooler with homemade tamales and sell them for, I think it was $5, which is great. So Shai knows what we're talking about. Like literally, he got sick and people made a GoFundMe and tried to make it get him a business. No way. Shai, if we bring you on, can you show us the Tamale Guy shirt?
We'll bring him on. 100%.
We'll bring you on.
Let's make
small,
it happen.
This world is, they're way too small.
All right. You can bring him on, or should I do it?
I'll do it. You talk about a pairing.
So tamales, that's gonna be the spice. I like spice, so I'm probably gonna enhance. Let's see, Shai.
Oh,
It's amazing. What are the chances of that possibly happening? That is so, and he is not a plant. We have no idea who this person is, Shy. And but that is awesome. All right, should we let Shy go?
yeah, Shy, you're gonna have to rejoin, but we're happy to have you. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna make
Change
you-
role to attend. There you go.
right.
That was so.
That is
unbelievable.
crazy. So as I was saying, spice. I like spice. I want to enhance that spice. Bitter beers enhance spice. So I'm probably gonna go with an IPA.
West Coast.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, because you want that bitter. You want more of the bitterness on there. And West Coast are going to be more traditionally have a bitter kick. I'm more IBU.
I love spicy. I like love it. The corn, like the cornmeal is sort of where I get thrown a little bit though, because I'm not like the biggest fan of like super rich and heavy food. So I'm probably going with like a lighter lager for these to sort of try to not do too much, because it's like a heavier food for me, but I love them. Like they're the best. So that was an awesome one.
Do we have any others? Any other foods?
Cannot believe
Ooh,
he's
Mexican
wearing a
lager.
tie.
Yeah, Randy, a Mexican lager would be awesome. But that's gonna do what Todd's talking about. Mexican lager, Vienna lagers, which actually can be brewed.
Chad, do you want a test of your Cicerone abilities?
I mean,
It's from Kit Kat, so I think we have to do it.
okay, sure.
It's
Let's see.
it's Cincinnati chili.
Cincinnati chili.
And then Kit Kat also said lobster rolls. So I think
A lobster roll is easy. Like any type of a Belgian wit, like an Allagash white with your lobster roll. It's the match made in heaven.
Chad, where do you get your favorite lobster rolls?
Well, Todd, we are on a Hanukkah, so maybe I don't eat lobster, but it's okay. Obviously, I do.
We know you do.
And I'm not gonna lie, McDonald's had a pretty mean lobster roll when they had it going. They had discontinued it, but it was the healthiest. It was traditional Maine lobster, and it was $7, and it was amazing. And Todd makes fun of me for this.
You bring it
my
up a
entire
lot.
life.
It's like,
I don't. I actually don't. I don't. Only when lobster rolls come out into the conversation. Ooh, D'Angelo's has a lobster roll. Josh is saying. Gonna have to check that out.
It's true, Mark.
So chili.
Okay.
Chili's a tough one.
Spicy.
I've never had Cincinnati chili, so I don't know how it compares to
Spicy and cinnamony.
cinnamony.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that alt beer that we
Cool.
talked about, that Long Trail, which is it's a German alt that is going to be something that's going to have a lot of malt character to it. That's going to cut through the maltiness, will cut through some of the spice, and it probably will enhance the cinnamon as well. And then, so yeah, and Rick is saying in the chat it's slightly sweet too. So yeah, I think that goes, a malt forward beer will be the best. The Martzen, that could be a good one. So an Oktoberfest style. Martzen would be great, that because you could drink tons of it. Chili is like this filling meal, so you don't actually want something that's going to be too filling.
Mhm.
So I would say some type of lager, some malt forward lager like a Martzen.
So, and let's do Laura's because I think it's sort of a useful one, especially because we're coming up on like a very traditionally Chinese food heavy day for our people, because Christmas is like 3 weeks from now. Exactly. Mark gets it. So if you're asking me, and I have a strong opinion that if it comes in a green bottle, it's great to eat with Chinese food, because most beers that come in a green bottle, like Tsingtao, Stella Artois, like they're macro produced beers. They're going to be bitter, and they're going to be light, and they're going to be really bubbly. Rinses your mouth, cuts Chinese food is so heavy. Like there's not a light dish around, and so you have to cut it. If you try to lean into the like richness, the umami-ness, you're gonna be
Yeah.
asleep at 10 minutes after you finish eating.
I'd go with a Czech Pills.
Yeah.
Czech Pills would be my go-to.
Yeah.
Or if I was a vampire, Bloodvisor.
Chad, do you want to do one more before we wrap up? Do you want to pull one out of your deck?
Let's see what I got.
I think that's right.
This is a relevant one. Why couldn't COVID get a beer in an American bar? Because COVID-19.
19.
That's an actual joke.
That someone bought you.
Someone bought it.
Ridiculous thing. I'm so happy we didn't have
What
to.
did the bottle write on the postcard? Wish you were beer. The better one. Oh, this one you liked. What did the bartender say after Charles Dickens ordered a martini?
I actually did like this.
Olive or twist? All right, that is. I am
That's night 7,
retiring,
folks.
I am retiring my jokes for the evening. Elizabeth
All right.
liked that one as the best one.
That one's
Those are
actually
gold.
funny. That's not a dad joke. That's just a funny joke. So we have one more night.
We have one more
Tomorrow.
night tomorrow. The last night.
I'm expecting a gift just from you, like on the stream. So no pressure. I got you
Well,
something.
I think I know where I might be able to find another box of these. So
I forgot to tell you, I'm actually busy tomorrow. So all right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you 9 o'clock tomorrow for the grand finale. We have a tremendous guest. One of the more unique people we'll have.
all right, guys, 9 o'clock. See everyone tomorrow.
Don't forget to refrigerate your locks, Chad.
Good reminder. Thanks, man.